What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Anti.Prophet. I'm a content creator who scaled to multi-7 figures in revenue, 2.4 million followers, all by using propaganda and psychological manipulation. And now I'm showing you how to do the same to blow up your business. The video that we're going to be taking a look at today is from a creator by the name of Dimitri Legrand. Now, Dimitri is a French content creator with 747,000 followers across social media. And this particular video is kind of an old one. He originally posted it back in April, but I came across it again recently, and I thought it was a perfect example for us to hop into to take a look at how to use psychological manipulation in order to sell products. Now, this video had to do with the Blue Origin rocket launch that we saw from Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend. Now, the reason this video popped off that we're about to watch is because for poor people, it's easier for them to hate the rich and to blame them for their problems. It's easier for the poor to call the rich a bunch of Satanists than having to admit to the fact that they fucked up their own lives. This right here is a major insight that you can tap into, because if you know going into the marketing process that the main drug that you can give the masses is this idea that they can project their problems onto other people in society, especially if someone genuinely doesn't have the skills to actually improve their life, they need that drug mechanism in order to deal with reality. They need the life fiction of projecting their problems onto the rich and the famous. And when your content leads with stuff like this, it becomes the drug that they need. And best of all, this type of content can sell, regardless of whether you're in B2B, drop shipping, the supplement industry. It literally doesn't matter. And most importantly, without using propaganda and psychological techniques, you're probably not going to succeed in business. So, all that being said, let's take a look at this video.
On a tous compris que les images sont des CGI. Il n'y a plus de débat là-dessus. Non mais regardez les graphismes.
All right, cool. So we're about 6 seconds into the video at this point, and he's already going out swinging. Now, when you start off a video like he did, where he says, we all know blank, 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 what this does is it allows you as the marketer to act like what it is that you're saying is common knowledge and to act like there's no debate left. And especially when you put this type of messaging at the beginning of your video, it allows people who disagree with the fact that this is CGI to get really angry and to immediately start commenting. And it also immediately pulls people in who already agree with you and are going to be like, oh man, this guy is telling the truth. And that dynamic in your comment section is going to be something that allows you to get more and more and more views, which allows you to make more and more and more sales because you have more eyeballs in front of what it is that you're doing.
Mais le plus fabuleux, ça reste le moment où les actrices ouvrent la fausse porte trop tôt. On leur dit de vite la refermer. Et Bezos qui débarque avec son levier en métal.
Here goes Jeff Bezos to open the hatch.
Pour faire semblant d'ouvrir une trappe déjà ouverte.
All right, so if you remember this popping off a couple of months ago, you remember that the whole fact that the door was already open was a big thing in the conspiracy theory community because everyone saw that and they were like, oh, this whole thing was staged. They never actually went up to space. This is all bullshit. Now, anyone with more than 2 brain cells sees this and they're like, oh, well, they landed. The camera probably just didn't film at the beginning because the safety crews are the ones who have to immediately go in and check on the women inside of the spacecraft. And they don't want to film that part, so they're going to just like open the door, close it, pretend that it's closed for the purpose of being able to do a photo op. Like any reasonable person would walk away with that interpretation, right? But again, the goal here is not for any reasonable interpretation. The reason Dimitri Legrand says this is because he wants to cement his relationship with his customer. He wants to show them that he's on their side as the viewer, which makes them trust him more. And again, it takes like 2 seconds of critical thinking here to understand why the door might be open already, but the viewer does not want to think critically. And this is so important. People who watch videos like this want to be hypnotized into the idea that reality is fake and that the rich are conspiring against them because reality is too painful for these poor people in order to actually deal with. So as a marketer, how can you take people's pre-existing beliefs about the rich and the famous in society and use those negative predispositions in order to make yourself seem like the good guy in their eyes so that they want to buy from you? That's what we're looking to do here.
C'est une farce. Mais avant tout, c'est un rituel. Elles partent dans un phallus et reviennent dans un utérus. L'œuf cosmique. C'est pas un vol, c'est une renaissance. Comme la...
All right, cool. So now we're getting into the meat of it, right? So this idea of rebirth, the cosmic egg, all of it. Something else that the masses love more than anything else is symbolism, making connections between things that aren't connected and implying that the audience is part of the select few that actually has the ability to understand the truth about what is going on. This is a really powerful mechanism to use inside of marketing because it solidifies your relationship with them. It creates a feeling of tribalism and it activates a religious part of their brain. And once you activate that religious part of their brain and give them a tribe inside of which they can apply that religiosity, if that's a word, this is one of the strongest things that you can do to cement your relationship with them.
La tournée de Beyoncé, parce que les célébrités féministes sont là pour célébrer la nouvelle race androgyne. Une ascension artificielle, suivie d'un retour dans l'utérus technologique, parce que dans l'occultisme, tout est inversé.
So I feel really connected to that strong divine feminine right now.
Le féminin sacré est remplacé par une figure synthétique, androgyne, robotique.
So the other thing that you have to do if you're going to market anything online is you have to stoke people's existing fear. For example, in this video, people are terrified of transhumanism, the idea of being replaced by machines or human beings turning into machines in the future. And by stoking this fear, Dimitri pulls you in even further. And even his choice of B-roll that he's using throughout this video. For example, this imagery of roboticism where her eye kind of seems to be freaking out like it's a robot. These pictures of robots, it all goes to further his argument that the elites are coming to turn us all into robots, which again stokes this fear that people have. And on top of that, all of this visual evidence that he's putting forth makes it obvious to the people who can see through the matrix that the elites are planting visual imagery throughout society in order to prepare people for the transhumanist future that is to come. The idea of a synthetic god is set up to really scare people who are either Christian, who are Muslim, who are Jewish, who are traditional pagan. The idea of the techno god is terrifying to these people, so stoking this fear is very effective at saying, hey, I think this is evil too. Come join me, come and join my community. We can fight this great evil together. How can you do this with a societal fear that already exists? And don't think too hard about this, right? Think about what are the existential fears that you yourself are aware of, maybe because you have them yourself. Tap into those and you will sell like crazy.
Regardez leur patch. Un Baphomet inversé. Tout est codé. Et qui a lancé ce cirque? Jack Parsons, scientifique et sataniste. C'est lui qui a donné la forme phallique aux fusées modernes. Vous n'irez jamais dans l'espace, mais vous irez forniquer dans une prison digitale.
All right, cool. So from here, we get into the part of the video where he's stoking more fears in the eyes of Christians by talking about Satan, by talking about Baphomet, this goat thing that is satanic in some way. Now we get into the part about Jack Parsons, and if you do a 2-second Google search, you realize that Jack Parsons didn't make the rockets phallic because he was a Satanist. Rockets are phallic in order to reduce wind drag while allowing the ability to carry as much as possible into space vertically rather than horizontally. Like, how else are you going to shape this shit, right? But again, the logic here is not the point. The point is to walk away from the video feeling like you have secrets that no one else has, which makes you feel superior to the people around you, when in reality, you're actually at the bottom of the social ladder because of the bad choices that you've made in life. This is what Dimitri Legrand is either consciously or unconsciously establishing with his audience. He's saying, hey, look, I know life is hard. Come hang out with me. I'll validate your worldview so that you can feel better about yourself. And then boom, there at the end, you get the sales pitch for his 5-hour series that you can buy for $50 on his website. Now, the sad thing here is that this is the only product Dimitri Legrand sells. And it's just a further indication that most content creators are really good at creating content. Like, the thing about this video that we watched is there's some nice editing in here. The pacing is nice. The music choice is good. The choice of B-roll is really, really nice. Like, he's a talented creator visually. But content creators usually end their skills at exactly that part of the sales process. They're good content creators, but they're not good on the back end in terms of properly monetizing their audience. And the reason I'm doing this channel is because real G's out there who are already great at business. Like, why not use this type of psychological messaging and propaganda in order to print even more cheddar than you are already printing? Because this type of messaging that we saw throughout this video is crazy effective, and 99% of the population responds super well to it. Maybe not so much to the satanic element of it, but to the principles themselves, right? The distrust of the elites, the idea of building a tribe, finding people who are like-minded to you, the creation of an enemy, stoking existential fears. If you master these, you are going to make it rain inside of your business. So now I've given you a glimpse into how to use propaganda to sell like crazy, but you still have no idea how to set up the content creation systems and workflows in order to actually put out content like this at scale. If you want me to show you the exact workflows you need to pump out content like this, like crazy, then click on the link in my bio and I'll show you exactly how to do just that.